We're living in a world now where everybody's like, oh my God, back in the old days we had all these values and everything was absolutely fine.
No.
And I'm like, no, everybody was
That's what you were
still
saying. Yeah, they used to have the names on doors in big old country houses so that you knew you were going into the right door to have your fling.
I think one of the things that the film says usefully is that...
I'm going to the wrong houses. Well, the hell have you been hanging out?
Posher parties than us. I think one of the things that the film says that is useful is that, we don't actually want our leaders to be flawless. In this case, we're dealing with two people who've got very strong physical challenges. And the point about that big scene that I have with Bill in the middle, where we sort of say, the point about the big scene we have in the middle, where Bill says, you're going to be a great king, and I think, well, nobody voted for me, how do I know whether I'm going to be a good king or not? Is that he says, if people want you to lead, they will see through your imperfections because they need to be led and nobody's perfect. I think we could do with a bit more of that nowadays.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic scene. I mean, it must be amazing, obviously, working directly with him. Just the two of you in that scene, because obviously the three of you, you have quite a few scenes together, but just the two of you, one-on-one.
It was all we did that day. It was a very exciting day.
He's actually a really funny guy as well. So how much time was shot with actually doing the scenes you were supposed to do, and how much was just him making people crack up?
No, I think he was very well behaved, wasn't he?
Yes, absolutely.
When they said rolling, do your thing, he did. He managed to make everybody wet themselves between shots when he was allowed to, when they were getting ready.
He's a weird... he's been in three of the greatest, most successful films of all time. He's definitely a film star, but he's also a really good film actor. And, one of the things they do is learn their lines and turn up on time.
Oh, yeah, there was no having to carry, the big film star. He was absolutely amazing.
All right, Mr. Ghostbusters, do your job.
Yeah.
Were you ever at all... Everybody grown up. We were obviously a generation where Ghostbusters was around when we were sort of young. Did that kind of enter into your mind at all that he was in Ghostbusters? And go, so tell me about Ghostbusters.
I think it did for me before I started the job, but once you meet him,
I did say, how many times have people asked you what the last line of Lost in Translation is? And he said about 1,200. And I said, are you going? He said, no.
I've always wondered with that, does he actually know that there was a real line there? Or is it just kind of like he's just messing with everyone?
He's told one person. He told me at the London Film Festival he's told one person.
Did he tell you who that one person was?
Yep, I can't remember.
Oh, Sam!
That's like being given the keys to Narnia.
Yep,
and then
losing them. Yeah, sorry. Narnia will have to remain locked.
Oh, my God. I mean, obviously the rest of the cast is fantastic as well. You guys get to play the royals. Playing royals, obviously people that people have connections with and heritage with, is it really difficult in case you meet people who have connections to the royal and they're like, I don't really like the way you did that?
Well, I don't meet many people who know the royals.
No, I don't get invited to those sort of parties.
No.
I'm a Republican socialist. Play a lot of kings for one of those people. I think on the whole, you'd have to sort of take that with a pinch of salt. I mean, you try not to look too different and be left-handed if they were right-handed. But on the whole, you're allowed a bit of freedom in interpretation. Yeah. Everything is fictional. I mean, the King's Speech is no more real than this. Yeah. Somewhere in the middle is the truth. Doesn't really matter.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I give it a year this week.
Oh, did you? I haven't seen it yet.